Jive Talkin, yeah. You get your news from me, get it from me, get it from me. The Jive Talkin, yeah. Getting down to heavy metal news, get the grooves, get the fun, have some fun, get some fun, have a drink, take off that blouse, let's jive now. Oh, excelente, as they say in the Latin communities about this here podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back once and for all. I mean, not for all, once again, I would say. Another Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo, episode, 56? We're still going. We can do it. Let's see if we can make it to 100, should we? Lots of news here. Lots of news nuggets and goodies. And you see this guy right here. He's got fear in his eyes. He has been told to zip it. This is Brian Johnson, lead singer. You may know him. He's done some AC/DC records with him over the years. And Brian Johnson won't answer any questions about AC/DC's future plans. I've been told not to. Oh my goodness. I mean, they are extremely old now, right? They're let's see, what's his name? Now I'm blanking on it. Angus's brother, Malcolm, he's passed on, and they're getting up there in the years. And you think that they would be in the twilight of their years, but he's saying, well, I don't know what's going on, but I've been told to shut it up. So, during an appearance on past Monday's December 19th episode of Sirius XM's Trunk in the Trunk Nation with Eddie Junk in the Trunk, AC/DC singer Brian Johnson, I don't know why I always mix that up, Trunk Nation with Eddie Junk in the Trunk. It should be simple. Because he's got some junk in the trunk, you know. He's got a juicy ass, right? He's big boned like me. His mother told him, "You're big bone boy, and if you don't do anything about it, you're gonna have a juicy plump ass and round spots on you." I digress. He responded as transcribed by, "I'm not saying." Who is this? When asked by the bandmates, will ever play live again, he responded just as so. "I'm not answering that. Why should I? First of all, there are 5 members in this band, and to ask one member isn't fair." Oh, so is this one of those fakey, what do you call it, the clicky titles? I've been told not to. Because he's just saying it's not fair to be asking him what the band's going to do. When asked by Eddie Trunk if he personally would like to play with AC/DC again, Johnson, "Eddie, I can't answer that, bleeding bloody bugger. I've told you. I've been told not to by everybody. It's the official line, you bleeding bloody bugger." Okay. Pressed about whether he would like to make another AC/DC album. "Follow up to 2020's Power Up," Brian said. "It's getting bleeding bloody tabloidy here. You're getting tabloidy." He continued, "If I say one thing, it'll be blown out of all proportions. You just can't afford to talk now. There's not much blabber on the internet, and I'm not on any kind of face thing or social bleeding media, social media at all. Never have. It's just gossip." Oh boy, okay. Johnson hasn't performed with AC/DC since he departed mid-tour in 2016. Amid revelations, he was suffering from hearing loss. He was replaced, so he hasn't been back with AC/DC since Axl Rose took over and was doing those shows with him. AC/DC postponed the last 10 dates of its spring 2016 North American trek after Johnson was advised to stop playing live or risk total bleeding bloody hearing loss. The band went on to complete the European and North American legs of its Rock or Bust. Rock or Bust! That song's makes the ass cheeks jiggle. Toured with Guns N' Roses frontman as special vocalist at the time. Johnson had been AC/DC singer for 36 years, ever since replacing the late Bon Scott in 1980 and making his debut album on the classic Back in Black. Johnson wrote in his recently released autobiography, The Lives of Brian, that he has never seen any of the wild circulated videos of Rowe's performance in the band. So he couldn't put his eyes on it to see Axl with him. I'm told he did a bleating bloody great good job, all right? But I couldn't watch, especially when you've been doing it for 35 bleating bloody years. It's like finding a stranger in your house, in your bleeding bloody bed, with your pajamas on, sitting in your favorite chair, but I bear no grudges. It was a tough situation. AC/DC guitarist and co-founder Angus Young had lads. They felt like they had to do it. That said, after the band released a statement confirming that I was leaving the tour and wishing me all the best, they wished me all the bleeding bloody best for my future, I couldn't relax or concentrate on anything. It was just always there. Yeah, that screechy little voice in the back of your mind going, or that's Jason McMasters. Where do we go now? I thought Axl did a pretty good job, though. Am I getting the comments and tell me that? Did he do a pretty good job? Part of the pain of it was I blame myself. It's your ears that went out, so it would have to be your fault, right? For most of my career, I'd been in the loudest band in the bleating bloody world. I'd flown constantly. I'd flown even when I knew I wasn't well. For a while, people would ask me if I was depressed, but depression is treatable. Me hearing loss wasn't. That's treatable too in some circumstances. What I was feeling wasn't depression, it was something closer to despair. So there you have that. He can't speak on it. Those eyes have killed a man. Those are the eyes that you say something wrong to him in the bar and he says, you bleeding bloody bag up. Joey DeMaio, you got that? The Kings of Metal always will. Well, other bands play. Manowar Kills. That's right. This is Joey DeMaio, and he says they got some ass-kicking new songs. The thing I like about Manowar is they sing about being the greatest band in the entire world, and no band's ever better than them, and they're just the best at it, and no one can ever beat them. And I kind of like that. They've had that tenacity for years and years. So, big pants to fill. You need to make sure that these ass-kicking songs are ass-kicking enough. Okay, Joey? Manowar is working on ass-kicking songs for next studio album. Joey DeMaio says the Manowar is working on kick-ass songs for the band's long-awaited new studio album. Although Manowar has released a couple of EPs in recent years, including The Revenge of Odysseus, which came out in June, the group hasn't issued a full-length effort since 2012's The Lord of Steel. Asked in an interview with Germany's Rock Anten, when Manowar fans could expect to see new studio album, DeMaio said, as transcribed by the Blumenheinz, here's the problem, all right, pal? The stuff that we just released, The Revenge of Odysseus, was a small portion, all right? It was a small portion of a huge, big work, much bigger than 1992's The Triumph of Steel. And so it was kind of the appetizer, you see, which a lot of people didn't understand. They were like, what is this shit? What is this shit? Classical music? Narration? But the music was all composed the way Wagner composed it. It was setting the tone for the future of what this big work would be. Like a Meisterwerk. And they even said Meister. Like a Meisterwerk. So a lot of people misunderstood it. Well, while we were planning the big epic Odysseus, the gentleman who spoke the narration of Odysseus passed away. He passed away. He went to live with Odin. So now we can't honor him with this huge work because he's gone. he wouldn't be able to perform it live. So now we are going to condense it into a smaller piece that will, of course, this great Greek story in honor of life, the coast of Kostas Kazakos, yeah. He was the greatest actor in Greece. This is sounding kind of, okay. Keep your thoughts to yourself, Shane, okay? So that made us kind of shift gears. So now we're working on songs that are what people would normally expect. Instead of some big, epic, long 3-4 hour piece, now we're going to be working on songs that I think people will expect from Manowar. Ass-kicking stuff that will fry the hair on your balls, basically. That is good music when it fries the hair on your balls, and that is a direct quote from Joey DeMeo. This ass-kicking stuff that will fry the hair on your balls. So there you have that, Joey DeMeo. They better be ball burners. That's all I'm saying. Remember this guy we talked about, Edsel Dope? He keeps telling himself, I'm not the Static X singer in The Mask. That's not me. Well, guess what? Static X guitarist. He should start a band called Static X. Static X guitarist Tripp Eisen. Isn't that the singer Edsel? Tripp Eisen. I almost want to say they're brothers or something, right? Static X guitarist Tripp Eisen says it's silly for Edsel Dope to continue denying he is Zero. That's the guy's name, Zero. All I had to do is just look down here, but I didn't want to in the words. But Edsel's been saying he's not Zero. Well, this guy's saying it's time to come clean with it, buddy. He wants to break the illusion. Static X guitarist Tripp Eisen says it's silly for Dope lead Edsel Dope to pretend that he isn't Zero, the masked frontman of Static X, who has spent much of the last 3 years performing and touring alongside bassist Tony Campos and drummer Ken Jay and guitarist Kyoichiro Fukuda. Back in October 2019, a photo was posted online clearly showing that Dope and Zero shared the same neck tattoo. However, Edsel later posted a lengthy statement on his Facebook page attempting to quash the rumor, implying Zero distinctive body ink was in fact a Photoshop job. Dope even provided a photograph of himself, which he photoshopped the tattoo off, right? Supposedly observing a Static X performance side stage to prove he and Zero were not the same person. Tripp, whose real name is Todd Rex Salvador. Why would you call yourself Tripp if you're named Todd Rex Salvador? That's a great name. Previously took credit for getting Edsel involved with Static X, coming back after Eisen and Campos supposedly reconnected with and reestablished their friendship in late 2016. In an interview with German's Mosh Pit Passion, Eisen, and that's Paul Stanley's real name too, right? Paul Stanley Eisen was asked if he regretted publicly revealing Zero's identity in 2020 press release. He responded, as transcribed, "It is goofy, I tell you, isn't it? It's kind of silly. It's kind of goofy. You look at that back of that Static X album, it says produced by Zero, executive producer Edsel Dope. You want to say Edsel? What was it like working with Zero in the studio? Did he take a long time on his vocal takes? Oh yeah, it's weird. I think it's a bad decision to sit there." I'm just going to stop with the impression because it's not encompassing of this guy's face. This guy is more like a, I tell you what, anyways. I think it was a bad decision to sit there. He had to get Edsel Dope's name on the album. It couldn't just be, I'm an alternate person, Zero. There had to be the Edsel brand on there too. Yeah, we know what's going on. But yeah, I did put it a press release. So it's official. He's zero. Tripp continued. You want to pretend? Oh no, he's still denying this, and everybody knows. I understand what he's doing because it's a weird thing. I know his personality. I know what he's trying to do. This guy's going to get old Edsel worked up on him, isn't he? A short time later, Edsel released a statement in which he called Tripp, what did I tell you guys? Two-time convicted sex offender, oh my God, and an egotistical low-talent idiot who was fired from Dope 20 years ago and dismissed from Static X more than 15 years ago because he was a 40-year-old creep who was arrested for having sexual relations with a 14-year-old fan of fangirl. Edsel went on to say that Tripp has not progressed in the least bit after spending 2 separate stints in jail, and claimed that Static hated Eisen and had no interest in ever associating with Tripp again. Edsel added that Tripp has been begging for people to pay attention to him and him. Okay, you see this just as well as I do, guys. You know, I know you guys say, oh, you read like a moron, an idiot. But sometimes it's this. Begging for people to pay attention to him and him new band for 3 years and attempting to tie himself to virtually everything Static X or Dope does. Well, I didn't know this about this guy. You son of a gun. All right, so there's that. Mille, our wonderful Mille, fantastic singer for Creator. He's got a State of the Union update address for us on the health of thrash metal. And coming from this man who can literally do no wrong in my eyes, I need to hear just exactly how healthy thrash is right now. Creator's Mille Petrozza, thrash metal is in a very healthy state. In a new uploaded interview with AndrewHaug.com, Hogue, recorded this past June, Creator frontman Mille Petrozza was asked if he still listens to new albums from other classic thrash metal bands such as Testament. He responded as transcribed, I don't know how he's talking. Und absolutely. I think Last Testament album was really cool. I really like it. And I think thrash metal is in a very healthy state in general. The classic bands are releasing amazing albums. Still Exodus, Testament, you name them. Death Angel, Destruction is really, really good. I think a lot of bands have their shit together. It seems they come up with cool stuff and hot licks and stuff to this day. Mille previously discussed his appreciation of other thrash acts in the 2017 interview with Metal as Fuck. He stated at the time, there is a lot of new bands now. Some great new bands, and some of the older bands are coming out with great new material also. I think it is vital and healthy scene still. The energy is still there. It also still a very youthful style of music, even though some of the bands are not as young as they used to be. We all still young at heart, right? Yes, we are. That is how I would like to describe thrash metal today. Creator's 15th studio album, Hate Uber Alles, was released in June, the follow-up to 2017's Gods of Violence, and was recorded at Hansan Ton Studio in Berlin, Germany. Helming the session was Arthur Risk, who has previously worked with Cavalera Conspiracy, Code Orange, Power Trip, and Soulfly, among others. So there you have that, guys. I wanted to see what was up with this Slash thing because I'm still his unboxing video, and I think this is just a book put out by Gibson Guitars that shows pictures of Slash's guitars. But we're going to read it and find out. Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash has created the collection Slash, a premium hardcover coffee table photo book, where he tells the stories behind the instruments he used throughout his storied music career. This one I did cocaine on. This one I, dumped a bottle of Jack Daniels on. This one I, now he's healthy living. So you'd say, this is the guitar that I dumped my veggie burrito all over nowadays. On countless, he talks about storied music career on countless hit records on stage worldwide in front of millions of fans. Is he going to show that guitar that was where the guy ran on stage and tackled him? And he can show you the dings on it and say that's where the damage happened? Few artists have had as a profound an impact on modern music as the rock icon Slash. From Guns N' Roses to Slash Snakepit, Velvet Revolver to his latest collaboration with Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, Slash brings his imitable style and swagger to each project and continues to influence countless guitarists and musicians across the generations and genres worldwide. In the collection Slash, the guitarist draws new insight into the stories behind the music through exclusive interviews with Mark Agnesi, a director of brand experience at Gibson. At over 300 pages in length, the collection Slash is lavishly illustrated, a rare collectible book with numerous photos of the guitars and his impressive guitar collection, shot by the Gibson team and legendary rock photographer Ross Halflin. Ross Halflin? Who dat? Whose relationship with Slash extends back to an early Guns N' Roses portrait session from 1986, written and edited by Gibson editor-in-chief Chris Vinicombe. The collection Slash is a must-have for both Slash fans and Slash haters. No. As well as anyone who admires fine and rare guitars. So someone says, I hate that son of a bitch Slash. I can't stand him for a goddamn minute. But I do respect his guitar collection, by God. Only the highly collectible custom edition of the collection Slash is hand-signed by Slash. Limited to 500 copies worldwide, the custom edition measures 297 by 422 millimeters, maximeters, 11 by 6'9", 16 by 54 inches, and comes inside a deluxe clamshell. Really? Protected box with premium case candy inside. The packaging includes an Axe Heaven Appetite Les Paul miniature guitar and an exclusive Slash bandana. Stop the presses. You've got me there. You give me a Slash bandana. That's it. A guitar pick tin. Oh, it's a tin with Dunlop guitar picks that Slash put in his butt cheeks. A cover poster, 4 guitarist art prints, and a certificate of authenticity. It's been a blast working with Gibson. No, is this Slash? It has been a delight and a blast working with Gibson to create a platform for me to talk about my favorite things, guitars. What else do you think I'd be my favorite thing? Murder? You think murder would be my favorite thing? No, it's my guitars. This book is great. Is a great expose. Oh, I saw that little twinkle over the top of that E, and I says, that's expose of all great guitars I've collected over my many years on this planet. So there you have that. I'd love for someone to chime in and tell me what they think about if they actually got a copy of the 500. I'd love to know about it. I'm sure it's beautiful, thick, hard book. Let's get into those comments. There was a video you could watch, but I didn't want to get into that because I don't think it's him cracking it open. It's probably something that Gibson's put together. Mr. Mike Buchanan in the first slot here. Yes, indeed, it is his name, Mike Buchanan. Here he goes. I've been immortalized in an opening song. That's right. So, from feeling honored to feeling dishonored all in one video, I've been called a lot of things in my life, but being called Bobby Simpson has to be the lowest. I accidentally said Bobby Simpson. I was going on about how I know you guys as avatars and all this and that. And then I goof Buchanan. And just looking at it right now, just the Bowie MB, it makes me want to say Bobby. I'm just telling you. But you're not Bobby. I kid, of course. Bowie, B-U-E, is a nickname. Bowie is a nickname I had growing up. No clue where it came from, but it's what all of my friends, classmates, and adults called me. Most still do. Interesting. My son calls me Pep Pep because we watch too much Tim and Eric. So for the last 20 years of his life, he calls me Pep Pep. Hey, Pep Pep. You got to be into Tim and Eric for that. What's up with Blaginty's days? What's up with Blaginty's days? I don't know what that means. I mean, I do enough peanut butter cups, Severy, Dude, you're getting me with all sorts of words today. Now and then, but what does that have to do with anything? Sounds like he's rambling. Yeah, he's going on about Reese's peanut butter cups in Romania. That's Blackie Lawless. And he's talking about how he wanted to get Lemmy's legs up and put some ice packs on him and stuff. Still waiting on songs from those albums that shall not be named. I was one of those Pantera fans that went WTF when Cowboys from Hell came out. Real? So you were a fan of the first records? Having been a fan already. Explained right there. I was like, this can't be the same band. Sure enough, it was. And yes, I was hooked all over again. We've talked about Poison before and an old girlfriend that dragged me to their concert and how I was converted to be a Poison fan. Sigh. KK's Priest is a kick-ass band. Looking forward to the new album. And if they are going to hit the road. Maybe they'll hit some states. And now your final Jive Talkin jokes of the week. I will be in London, jolly old London, blatant bloody England, just after Christmas until January. All right. One night, a Viking named Rudolph the Red was looking out of the window when he said, "It's going to rain." His wife asked, "How do you know?" "Because Rudolph the Red knows rain, dear." Oy. Why is Santa's sack so big? Jesus, getting down to the nitty-gritty. He only comes once a year. Well, okay. That is good. I'm going to tell that as soon as I get off this thing. Why does the Christmas alphabet only have 25 letters? Because there's no L in Noel. Because there's no L. Ha! And a little bit of a darker humor. Don't hate, embrace the warmth. Little Timmy has no hands. What did he get for Christmas? Gloves. Just kidding, he can't open his present. Oh! That one's going in the bank too. Knock, knock, who's there? Not Timmy. Yeah, because you can't. Wasn't there a joke about a guy that knocks on the door that doesn't have any arms? And then the lady goes, "Oh, that was your ding-dong?" I can't remember, but if you can, someone can hunt that joke down. Merry Christmas to all that celebrate. Happy Hanukkah to all that celebrate. And Happy New Year. It's been a joy to have joined the merry misfit of a group. Glad to have gotten to know some of you over the past year. This is what I like, people. People talking to people, having conversations about music. That's the way it is. And another one here, Miss Althea. Wonderful Miss Althea coming in. The dumbstruck fool says, I can't jive. 55. It was there. I had to use it. Not sorry. I would believe Lemmy over Blackie any day. And Blackie is splitting hairs in anything he may have to say about Lemmy when it comes down to it, as it is an age-old story with rock stars and personality types, mental health challenges, disorders, and seemingly alcoholic being the cure-all. Yeah, alcohol being the cure-all, which ultimately literally becomes the end-all. for everything in their minds. I think the dude just likes to hear himself talk. It does not matter about what at this point. Yeah. Yes, and the Pete Evick. This is Miss Althea, but she's talking about Bret Michaels, guitar player. The Pete Evick story gave me a headache, period. I have always admired Bret Michaels' seemingly natural business savvy. This may be the key reason why Poison was able to reach and maintain iconic status instead of fading into the woodwork like one too many other bands of their era genre did. I agree, 100%. Still Miss Althea, the John Corabi story gave me a headache. Period. Check out KK Claus and his Christmas tree. He should have put a little Santa hat on for the full effect. KK equals Kris Kringle. But whatever, he will always be chill AF. Still Miss Althea here. The Sorry Charlie Star-Kissed Tuna tagline and the alternate tagline, Tell him Charlie sent you, goes back to the mid, I love this kind of stuff, goes back to the mid to the late 1960s, I believe. When I was a kid, I had a plush Charlie the Tuna toy. Yes, I've never seen one, but back then people weren't creative. So they're like, turn that fish into a toy and give it and sell it. One of those pull string things, and it would say assorted phrases. Oh my God. Assorted phrases, those two being among them. I could go for a nice can of tuna right now. It'd say, eat me. Eat me. You can still find these things on eBay, and I have seen prices well into the hundreds, yeah, depending on condition. Razzle is the guitar player that was killed with Vince Neil in the car. Razzle is the Hanoi Rocks drummer name that keeps escaping you. What did I call him? Razzle. Yeah. Okay, Miss Althea, there's your heart. Well done, well done. We got Oscar coming in here. Dime and Vinny thought Anselmo was a douche. They waited a long time for him to finish up side projects to no avail. The brothers finally hit the road, sold tickets for $7, and we all know the outcome. The blood has dried, but Phil will never be able to wash it off his hands. I do remember that apology video that he put up online right after he died, like he had said some things. And didn't they say something like the killer was they were kind of making the connection that the killer was a fan of Phil Anselmo, so when he was saying those things, it was like, hey, he's going to do it. Shame on Charlie and Jeffrey for participating in this charade. I mean, did you see that mosh pit, though? Cowboys from Hell and Chili? My good gravy, Oscar. Let's get on it. There's your heart, my friend. Zayas Baltar coming in here. Lawless is sanctimonious asshole. He comes off really high and mighty, acts like his latter Wasp albums were Shakespeare or something, when the fact is that the early albums are the best. I agree with this. Thankfully, he did not go into detail about Lemmy's so-called different side. Strangely, no one else in this metal community who were actually close friends of Lemmy ever spoke out about this. That's true. Because people love to get on the blabbermouth and say, hold to your ass, pal. Pantera. Zay's talking about Pantera here. When Rex got the sniffles on the second or third show, had to be replaced, what? By the guy from the Illegals, and I immediately thought that was a bad omen. Maybe the tour is just not meant to be, and this was a message from the beyond. So he sat out a show or two already, Rex Brown. And who was it in the Patreon that was telling me that it would be probably a really good idea? Was it Zayas? That was saying they should get the dudes from the Illegals to jump in with Rex and them to do it? Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I can't remember. My brains are shit. Still Zayas here. Poison, the best band on the stadium tour, as performers anyways. Even if I don't like the songs, they were played well, and Michaels remained a top frontman. In short, compared to another band on the bill, They appear to actually give a shit about how they present their music live. I would say that. I've watched clips of all of them on that stadium tour, and I do think that, I mean, I love the Joan Jett stuff. And the Classless Act band's good, but they're not, they're playing during when people are filing in. But I think Poison, yeah, they're holding it tight. I haven't watched too much of Def Leppard, but, they looked pretty good too, I guess. Karabi, he's starting to look like and talk like Chris Barnes. The ex-Cannibal Corpse singer has been entwined with conspiracy theories for a quarter century. Maybe the only person on earth who has smoked too much weed. I will say this to you guys now. I did not know about any of this, but you got to go listen to a song called The Noose from 6 Feet Under. This is Chris Barnes singing. And I started to go down this rabbit hole of like people are kind of doing kind of goofs, like, hey, they're doing those cameos. And then Chris Barnes goes, he talks to you about whatever you want to talk to. And someone was asking him about the noose, and he told the story about the noose. But when you get in the comments of all of his videos now, you just see people with the capital E. And I was like, what the hell is that? Why are they doing that? I went and heard, I haven't heard anything since the first or second record or whatever we've done on the first listens from 6 Feet Under. And it's like, wow. It's like, what's he doing with the vocal thing there? And it sounds like he's trying to smash a little person or something. So go listen to that song, The Noose, if you haven't heard it from 6 Feet Under. This is still Zayas here. KK, if Priest fans could forgive Rob for the what's that? Is that just two with a T, with a two? Because I'm trying to, the kids today with the things and the LOLs and stuff. Forgive Rob for the 2 albums. He should be able to forgive Ken. Yeah. Well, I saw Rob Halford ushering him over in that video we did. He was going, come on over, baby cakes. Let's be friends. Does Rob forget he left the band in a lurch back in the 90s? Didn't he want to start a golf course? Anyways, here's Zayas Baltar. Happy holiday, Shane, and to all who post on here. There you go. Fa la 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 dee dee dee. We got Adra here, but we got one more guy, and this is called User IZ5JK9JIL1I. I can't think of a single person who's been in Wasp or toured with them that has anything good to say about Blackie Lawless other than Nikki Sixx. And Nikki Sixx gets a bunch of grief too. Everyone who's been around him has nothing good to say, including members of Anthrax, Metallica, Iron Maiden, and Lemmy. I mean, it's just those characters, right? Nikki Sixx and him. Nikki Sixx, Bruce Dickinson, and Blackie Lawless might get along perfectly, right? They seem to be, I don't know. All right, we got one more. Adria, the Metal Outlaw. Good Jive Talk as always. I put a little spice in that when I said chive. Good Jive Talk as always. So we just got news in our family that our grandpa developed an addiction to Viagra. No one is taking it harder than grandma. Oh! My heavens to Betsy. You guys and your... No one's taking it harder than grandma. My good gravy, you guys. Let's get a sweet tune on here. Oh, hold on a minute here. We finally got something that's gonna fit. Here we go. Jingle bells, jiving all the way. Jive your goodies in your shirts and jive 'em to the sleigh. Get on the Christmas Jive Talkin' sleigh, go for rides. Then we'll kiss some people when we go ride. All the way, Jive Talkin', oh my God, yes, oh, ho, he, it is lovely. Oh, happy, oh.